Okay, we're in the food forest today. Checking on a couple of trees that I think may be dead or diseased and may need a little bit of help. So first up is this Anna apple. This is one of my small fruit trees. I love this style because it's actually shorter to me, easy to pick the fruit, and the branching is wonderful on this tree. So it's really sad that I believe it's dead. What happened is our neighbor lost a large tree that supplied way more shade than I thought to it, and even with supplemental shade, it still fried, I think. So first thing to look for is to check the buds. And let's see. Well, that's not looking very promising. Pretty crumbly. And then we're gonna come over and check a branch. Let's see what we got. Is it bendy? Let's see. Oh, snaps. Let's look at it internally. Pretty brown. And the last check is going to be the trunk. So let me grab a knife and we're going to do a scratch test. First we're going to use our thumbnail and then we're going to go ahead and use a knife just to be sure, because I would hate to take out a tree that wasn't indeed dead. All right. So first up I'm going to remove these large garden stakes so it's easier to get in here. These have been super helpful for holding up our shade cloth. I have a feeling that I may have just waited too long to shade this tree. So I was using 70% shade, which should have been enough, but it may have already sustained damage before then. And it has been a record hot summer here in Arizona. So I moved a few of these dry branches to get in here closer to the trunk. So I'll be performing the scratch test here. So I want to get us close to the bottom or the base of the trunk to see if there's any life left in this tree. So first we're going to do a thumb test, see if we can scratch. That's pretty hard. I can't get in there at all. So I brought a steak knife, serrated edge, see if I can do a deeper test. Now what we're looking at, we're removing the outer bark to see if there's any living tissue underneath. And I'll show you closer. So here's my original scratch test here. So traditionally it's just a thumb scratch, and you can see I can barely scratch it. We can even try one of these smaller limbs. Let's try that. Nope, not seeing any green. There we go. There we go. So this is a smaller branch. We would want to see some green on the main trunk. Get you all in focus. Oops. There we go. No green. And just in case I just have very weak nails from being in the garden, let's try it with a knife. So this is my original cut. Let's see. And I believe our poor tree is gone. They gave us a couple of good years. Same. So this one is a goner, unfortunately. So let's break this tree down, and it will have another life in our grow beds for our veggies. So to break this tree down, we're just going to chainsaw it down to small pieces. I think that's the fastest way to do this. So I have my chainsaw. I have my safety glasses, and I got my gloves. So let's go ahead and break this baby down. Wow. So it changes the space. Okay. This is, I think this is a 6-inch chainsaw. This may be near the extent, the diameter of branch you can get through. So let's see. Boop. All right. Let's do this top part because I do want to look at the roots. All right, those are all the perfect size for our raised garden beds. All right, next let's check on another tree that I believe is having a different problem. Let's see. So I watched this plum tree struggle all summer, and parts of it would come back to life. You can see here where it tried to bud and then it died. And I came in and I was looking a little closer at it, going down this trunk, and I started seeing this wet stuff like here. You can see that. Let's get around the sun here and here. So this is what I'm looking at. Now this tree is diseased. This is a condition called gummosis, and it can be caused by a number of things. Let's get in there closer. You can see it in the sunlight. You can see it looks just like sap. So it's usually a fungal infection. It can be caused by too much dampness, bug damage, putting holes into the trunk and then allowing for the fungus to set hold. And this tree has just been getting worse. So we're going to go ahead and remove it to be a little bit different, since this tree has an obvious infection. I'm not going to use a chainsaw. We're going to use a handsaw and loppers, so they can be disinfected afterwards. So we're going to use loppers. And these are mine, big ones for the big stems. And this is a handsaw. This is what we're going to be using to cut the larger stems, branches, and trunk. And I always have these on hand. These are alcohol wipes. They're disposable. I can wipe. Oops. These let me easily wipe the blades of my garden tools to disinfect, and then afterwards I rinse them well, because it can rust them and therefore dulling your tools. All right, so let's get to it. So first off, I'm just going to cut off the large branches. So let's move these miraculous tomato plants that made it through the entire summer. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Grab my other glove. All right. So this was trimmed into another small fruit tree. I was doing a trio in a depression. Unfortunately, my last surviving plum tree doesn't have anyone to pollinate it. So this fall I will have the opportunity to find another tree for it. However, it will not be going into this space because this area has disease that plum trees are clearly susceptible to. So I will probably put flowers in. Pumpkins are also shockingly good at breaking down woody material, and they'll love it. It'll be great material for them. Okay. Perfect. Then I'm going to use the handsaw to take care of the space. Sorry, friend, but thank you. All right. Okay, so to clean these, whew, weird shade. Get the dapple with me. There we go. So let's start with our loppers. So loppers, alcohol wipes, probably need 2. So got our wipe, simply clean this edge, get the initial debris down and off the blades. We don't want to spread this from tree to tree, whether if it was from stress or from an insect. Either way, gummosis is in there. So, and then I'm going back with another to actually sanitize the blade. All right, I'm just gonna leave it open so it can dry. And then, so this is the handsaw. Boop. Same, a little bit more difficult because it's serrated, but it's definitely easier than a chainsaw. So, just putting the wipe on there and pulling it off. This is a disease associated with moisture. So after this, I'm going to wipe really well, and then these guys are going to sit in the sun all day to cook and add a little UV cleansing. All right. So the wood for this tree is not going in our raised garden bed because it's disease, and we want to be extra careful and not spread it. So here's another look. Here we go. At the gummosis. Oops, might want to straighten it up a bit. There you go. Now the inner wood looks healthy, but definitely struggling, and we want to be careful. So this wood will go in our fire pit. If you didn't have room in there, we would bag it up and send it to trash. But I kind of like using stuff here at home, and that could be char, and at that point it could at least be spread on some of our ornamentals that are not related to plums. All right. Let's head over to a healthy tree just so you can see what the difference is. Check out our wandering pumpkin. Seems to be loving this space. So this is an ever-bearing mulberry. You can tell it has struggled in the heat a bit. However, it's leafing out. See if you're gonna find a bud. Here we go. Buds are healthy, putting out new growth, and we can do a scratch test. So, here's our tree. Here's our tree. There it is. Alright, so I'm just gonna get on your side. I'm gonna use my index finger, and it's coming off easy. There it is. Nice and green, came off easy. Here, I'll do it again. There you go. Green, very bendy, limber branches, very healthy. We're not seeing any fungal growth. Here we go. We can do another test down here. And even down here, it's coming off easy. Now you can see it's green. See it's green. There we go. A few more. Ever-bearing. Mulberry. We have new growth. We're going to check. See how healthy. Lots of new growth. Bendy branches. healthy buds. Here we go. Leave. Easy scratch test. So, boop. And there you go. This tree is a happy tree. Let's place our apple tree trimmings in our raised garden beds. That'll work for now. This is a spot where another large tree came down, so this season is going to be totally different. These beds are going to get way more light.
All right.
So I'm just going to spread these out evenly over the bed. And let's head back. I put the trimmings from the large mesquite in the bed so the leaves can fall in. That's the story for another day. Like and subscribe to stay up to date.
Happy gardening.
See you next time.